Avast there, maidens, heave to and hear a pirate yarn. 'Tis a tragic tale of jealousy, lust for gold, and the terrible justice of the sea. Sailors call it the Curse of Shipwreck Rock. In the golden age of piracy, Captain William Dawkins, or Black Billy as he be known to his crew, sailed the West Indies in his ship Jewel of Fortune. His hardy band of pirates plundered and pillaged the Spanish Main, taking ships and towns alike, till his hold be full of treasure, and the terror of his infamous name be known far and wide. But unknown to many be the fact that Black Billy had a twin brother. Father Henry Dawkins were abbot over the monastery of St. Francis of Assisi on the Isle of Jamaica. Father Dawkins be known far and wide for his goodness and charity. The abbot prayed daily for his brother to be turning from his wicked ways. In return, the pirate captain hated his brother and were jealous of his reputation. Off the coast near the monastery be a wee rocky isle called Shipwreck Rock. The rock be difficult to see in dark weather, and dozens of vessels have been destroyed by the sharp features. Concerned for the many souls lost such a short distance from his monastery, Father Dawkins used his influence and arranged for a large brass bell to be mounted on the rock. When the wind blew, the bell rang, warning ships away. The abbot gave thanks for God's guidance. Many disasters be averted and lives be saved. Shipwreck Rock soon became known to grateful mariners far and wide as the Bell Rock, and Father Dawkins' reputation as a man of God grew. Black Billy greeted the news of his brother's praiseworthy work with scorn and disdain. He boasted that he put the fear of God into more swabbies in a month than would the worthy abbot in his lifetime. Nevertheless, his secret jealousy and hatred burned within him. He planned to be doing something about it. With the Jewel of Fortune loaded with plunder, the captain and his band of buccaneers navigated north toward the pirate haven of Tortuga, seeking food and drink and pleasurable company. Black Billy knew full well that their course would take them near the Bell Rock. As the ship approached, the bell could be heard clearly. The captain gave orders for a boat to be lowered, and with a few of his crew he rowed out to the rock. Once there, it took only minutes to unhook the bell and roll it into the sea. "The next visitors here won't be blessing the abbot, I wager," growled Black Billy. His crewmen looked uneasily at one another, each aware of the dreadful act to which they had been party, and the curse which must surely follow them. The pirates sailed north. Knowing that Tortuga be a place where a pirate soon be parted with his riches, the band decided to hide a large part of their treasure on a deserted isle along their route. Each man swore a blood oath that he would not reveal the location of the treasure to anyone outside of the crew on pain of death. The ship dropped anchor and a boat ferried the priceless gold and jewels ashore. Black Billy himself determined the site and ordered a map drawn up. Soon the treasure be buried. The ship weighed anchor and continued the voyage north. In Tortuga, the pirates enjoyed weeks of drunkenness, debauchery, and pleasure, till their gold be spent, and 'twas time to return to the sea. Soon they be underway again, navigating south toward the deserted isle to reclaim their treasure. This time, the sea had a heavier swell, and the wind freshened into a gale. The sky darkened, and it began to rain. The storm grew with terrible strength, and control of the vessel became impossible. The captain himself took the wheel and managed to regain a heading, but the ship be blown far off course. Suddenly, with a grinding crunch, the vessel came to a shuddering stop and immediately lurched onto its side. They had run aground on a rock, the very rock where they had destroyed the warning bell only a few weeks earlier. They had become cursed victims of their own wickedness. With a running leap, the first mate Edward Collier managed to make it to the rock. The ship quickly took on water and began to sink. As the Jewel went down, Collier caught sight of Black Billy with a scowl on his face before he disappeared beneath the waves. At that very moment, the survivor swore that he heard the ringing of a bell, as though the devil himself be bidding the captain welcome. All through the terrible night, the first mate clung to the rock, continually pounded by rain and foam from the crashing waves. Yet he be comforted by the thought of the treasure map tucked under his shirt. If he could survive, the treasure would be his. So it was that a few moons later, Collier found himself captain of his own ship, the Adventurer. Sail in the high seas in search of the treasure that he knew to be there for the taking. The isle be found with little trouble. The treasure map proved to be accurate, and soon the crew be cheerfully hauling gold and jewels aboard. Suddenly, the sky began to darken, and thunder rolled in the distance. The crew looked about uneasily, and then in horror, as a terrifying ghost ship rose from the depths not a quarter mile from where they be anchored. Captain Collier immediately recognized the Jewel of Fortune, in spite of the shredded sails and shattered timbers. Skeleton figures swarmed the deck, brandishing cutlasses and shouting curses, and there at the helm stood the undead remains of his former captain, Black Billy. Orders be shouted, and the panic crew quickly got the adventure underway as cannon fire from the undead began to rain down upon them. The chase beyond. The sea swelled and lightning cracked the darkened sky. The captain ordered every last stitch of sail to be hoisted to get the most speed out of his vessel, but the ghost ship closed in with terrifying swiftness. The adventurer ran in a straight line before the wind, not daring to turn to port or starboard for fear of losing speed, but still 'twas nothing. The ghost ship were nearly upon them, when suddenly there be a sickening lurch and crash. The shipwreck rock claimed yet another victim. So fast had been their flight that the adventurer did not completely break, but remained wedged tightly in a crevice on the rock. The ghostly Jewel of Fortune pulled alongside. The skeleton pirates leaped onto the deck of the grounded vessel to claim revenge for their stolen treasure. To this day, the adventurer remains on the rock. There be no one with courage enough to board her, discover the fate of the crew, and claim the treasure. If you be thinking you've got the rest to do it, come to our walkthrough, October 28th through the 31st, 7 to 9:30 p.m.